I really liked how it was done, but never didn't believe it from the start. But it did get a lot of people excited, and that would be there was this fan-made trailer for Majora's Mask HD on the Wii U.
Oh, you went there. That's
I
where you
went
went.
there.
Yeah. I seen that,
It
and I
looked
was
good.
like,
It looked really good.
it looked too good. I remember seeing it, thinking, "There's no way the Wii U could run this."
Yeah, that was exactly. It was like I didn't buy because I was like, this is too good. Nintendo did not make this because it just did not look like in the style of like it almost deviated too much from the style of what Nintendo would actually push out for Majora's Mask remake. But that trailer, if you watch it, like it holds up. Like it still looks super good. And if they did make something that looked that good, I would be all over it. It was a very impressive fan-made trailer, like very good. I don't remember if it did come out on April Fool's or not. If it did, that might have also been a big giveaway, but I don't remember if it did. But yeah, that was one of my favorites. Like one of the most well done fake Zelda things, just because like you could tell, even though it was obvious as heck how fake it was, it put a hell of a lot of work into that. Obviously, like to animate all of that and putting lighting and everything off, like with Tattle, like the light coming off of her and everything. Yeah, it just
super high quality.
Yeah. Like someone put in a lot of work into there, not just like a fake screenshot, but this whole trailer and
just the way the Happy Mask salesman took the pig mask and like put it on and kind of spooked Spectacular Link, took it off and started laughing. It was a very well done trailer.
Yeah, super good. I see Jesse's gone into like hacker mode here. I'm just waiting for him to be like, I'm in.
No, I was just I was posting the Gleam thing for people to watch in case new viewers wanted to enter the giveaway. So yeah, I seen this. I thought like there's no way that it can be real. I remember it ending with one of the videos had like something akin to like GoFundMe or something where like fans could go and support the project. And
Nintendo would never do that.
Yeah, and there was a thing to where like there was a thing with the video where they like showed the making of it, where like the fans made the trailer and it was supposed to be a game, but the way it looked, it's like there's no way that would be the actual game. Like that could be a cutscene. I don't even think that could be like a normal cutscene. It would have to be like pre-rendered.
Yeah, it would definitely not be an in-game cutscene.
Yeah, so but like they made that and they never did a follow-up with it. Because I was hoping that if it was just like a pre-rendered thing, that they would continue it and just show us Clocktown instead of just like the inside. Because like it's like, okay, well, what does actual Link look like in that graphic? Hi, Luke.
Probably look really good.
Nathan just donated $5 again.
What the hell?
Nathan!
What the heck?
Nathan, thank you.
Gotta go see you next time. Thanks for the good hour. So thank you so much, Nathan.
We will be publishing this.
Give us a question really quick before you go. Give us a question.
He put one in.
Okay, we'll answer it for the mailbag then. All right. So yes. Connor, have you seen the Majora's Mask thing?
Have you seen?
I haven't actually. Like I said, I just stayed from all the rumors and all
that. So there's the Wii U trailer, and then there's an actual short film that someone made of like the Skull Kid Majora's Mask.
Really good.
Yeah, like there's no way that could play. No, because like they used real stuff in that one. Like the characters are CG. Yeah, so the characters are CG, but like the environment and everything is actually real. So whenever I was looking at it, I was like, oh, it looks realistic. Like it looks so realistic. I was like, oh, of course it is. But whenever sometimes I'm talking about Majora's Mask in some of my videos, I'll use clips from like the Wii U trailer or the fake fan film or whatever. Anyways, so a bonus one that I want to add really quick is
honorable mention.
The Fierce Deity Origin game, Majora's Mask sequel. there's a lot of people. It was supposed to be for the GameCube, and there was a lot of people that's messaged me in my videos whenever I'm talking about like, oh, they should make a third Hero of Time game or something, like Reza should make it. There's always one person that's like, they already made a third Hero of Time game. And then they bring up the Majora's Mask fake fan thing as if it was a real game. And I'm like, no, just stop.
It's not.
Like maybe in some what's it called? The like when people remember things differently from the way they were.
Parallel universe.
The Mandela effect.
Yeah. It's like maybe they're from a different universe where that game did exist, because people talk about it as if they bought it and played it, and I'm just like, no, that's not a thing. I even had he wasn't really a friend, but he was like a friend of my cousin's, and he tried telling me that he was a huge Zelda fan, whatever, and that he played, there's two things. He played the newest Zelda game on Xbox One, like the one that had just released for Xbox. He played it. And two, he owned all 3 of the Zelda games for Nintendo 64. So
what?
Yeah, like the only thing I could think of is like, is he thinking of Smash Brothers?
Yeah, he played through like the one-player mode on Smash, and that's the third Zelda game. He just had to pick Link as his character.
Yeah, but anyways, there's like box art and stuff of the Fierce Deity origin. I'm gonna look it up really quick.
What Zelda game
Daniel,
was it on?
while you do that, the real Zelda game, or the number 1 on our list, is one you know about, the Flood. Tell us about the Hero of the Flood in Zelda War.
I do? I know about this?
Yeah, do you not know the Hero of the Flood Zelda game? No?
No.
I've seen that.
I have not.
Sounds like a bad recreation of like
it does.
of Wind Waker.
It does. I'm guessing, based on the name, that it was took
Valley
place between Wind Waker and
Valley of the Flood.
Yeah.
Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time. That's my guess. That it would take place.
Here's the artwork
there,
for Valley of the Flood, if I can get it to where it's not.
It looks very Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I have seen this screenshot. This mock-up here. And it looks like
so here's a brief description. Says Valley of the Flood was described, this is coming from Zelda Universe, by the way, also shout out, I worked for them a while back too. Valley of the Flood was, Axel works for them now as well, so shout out to Axel. And then my old podcast host Amanda is the YouTube host for Zelda Universe as well, so shout out to her. Shoutouts to everyone at Zelda Universe. They bought me this webcam I'm using when I was writing for them. Nice. Valley of the Flood was described as a prequel to Wind Waker, revealing the details of what happened when, as stated in Wind Waker's introductory sequence, the hero did not appear. Taking place in an apocalyptic Hyrule, the game would have the player act as this would-be Link, only to know that, in the end, the deluge would claim Hyrule, and the Great Sea would drown out the world below. So, I think this was either before Twilight Princess or after Twilight Princess, before we started hearing things about Skyward Sword, where apparently they were going to make a Zelda game. Yeah, I think it was... So this was before the dual timeline thing. So, if I'm remembering correctly, the rumor for this came after Twilight Princess, and one of the rumors said you would play as not Ilia, Colin. So this was when people thought Wind Waker came after Twilight Princess.
Okay.
And yeah, because it wasn't confirmed for the split timeline at this point. And then in Wind Waker, it talks about, this huge flood. And obviously, there's no flood mentioned in Twilight Princess, so the flood had to happen after Twilight Princess. So this suggests that in the same way that Link left Hyrule to go to Termina to find Navi, or go to Termina to find Navi and meets the Skull Kid, Navi, whatever, and he isn't in Hyrule for that period of time, something similar happens with Twilight Princess Link, to where he ventures off to find a way to find Midna. So he's not in Hyrule to stop the flood, but there was a kid who wanted to be just like Link, that Link gave him like the wooden sword, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So he rises up to try to be the hero, but because he isn't Link, because Link wasn't there whenever the flood occurred, you basically fail at the end.
This sounds like a 12-year-old wrote a fan fiction about Zelda.
Or what was it? Like, you end up trying to stop Ganon or something like that. Now, I'm remembering a fake rumor from like 5 years ago, so my memory might be blurry. But Link leaves. He's not in Hyrule to save it. Colin grows up to be like the new adult hero, whatever. So it's like 10, 15 years later. However, I don't know how old he is. But anyways, so Link isn't there to help save everyone, but Colin, what's the word I'm looking for? Not influenced. So like when someone, that's it, inspired. I was thinking influence for some reason. So inspired by Link having saved Hyrule, he tries to do it. Because he remembers Link was just this normal farmhand, and he ends up saving Hyrule. Colin grows up doing the same thing. Maybe he can too. So he doesn't end up defeating Ganon, but he ends up collecting the Triforce pieces, which is then wished to stop him, as Wind Waker says, and then the flood occurs. So
but if
he ends up, it's weird, because like, don't they in Wind Waker they wish on the Triforce, the flood comes to get rid of Ganon or whatever. So yeah, it's basically in the game, in the fake game that doesn't exist, Colin was supposed to collect the Triforce pieces like Link does in the Wind Waker, but when he collects them and they wish on it, the flood happens, and that's why it's called Valley of the Flood. So very, very odd.
Like, when you say pieces of the Triforce, do you mean like just the 3 entire segments, or actual pieces of the Triforce Courage?
You would have to ask whoever invented the rumor.
Okay, it would make more sense if it was the whole thing.
If you had the full Triforce, you would not need to ask the gods to flood Hyrule to stop Ganon.
Okay, so this...
you just wish away Ganon.
Yeah, you would have the...
This was the Fierce Deity thing. So on the Zelda wiki, there's an entire thing for it. Really quick, it says Majora's Mask 2. So not even The Legend of Zelda, something like the Hero of Time 3. It's just Majora's Mask 2, which they have never done except with Zelda 1 and 2, Zelda and then 2. Triforce of the Gods and Triforce of the Gods 2, which was A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds in America. Anyways, I thought, like, the first time I seen this, I thought it was fake, because I was like, they would never call it Majora's Mask 2. They would give it its own, even if it was a continuation of the story, or in this case, a prequel. Like, they wouldn't call it the prequel to the game Majora's Mask 2. They would give it a unique name on its own. Like, this one is The Untold Legend of the Fierce Deity. And I was thinking, that's like such a made-up name. But there's the quote, "The last shall one day be first. Remember that, Oni." I don't know what that means. Majora's Mask
Oni
2
is is basically the Japanese term for fierce deity.
Yeah, I know that.
Like Oni
but
Link.
I meant like the quote in itself. Like, the last shall one day be first. Remember that, Oni. Really quick.
I have no idea.
The Untold Legend of the Fierce Deity, known as Majora's Mask 2, Revenge of the Fierce Deity in Japan. So it had a different fake Japanese name is an action, this talks about it as if it was real, is an action, this is what I was talking, like the Mandela effect, like they're talking about it as if it was real. Was originally released near the middle of 2007. It is described, so a year after Twilight Princess, it is described as a prequel to the story of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and players get their first look into the history of the fierce deity and Majora's Mask. It is not part of the main Zelda series, as this game does not allow the player to play as Link, and as such, qualifies as a spin-off. The plot, just reading the first paragraph, long ago in the land of Termina, or the land of Termina was created, the wise and benevolent creatures who would one day be known as the Four Giants immediately took it upon themselves to create two entities that would protect the new land where they could not interfere with mortal affairs. So it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Here's the issue when people make fake rumors like this, is that they don't approach making a mock-up Zelda game the way Nintendo would approach actually making a Zelda game. In that all these people, when they make fake leaks, they're like, this is going to be a Zelda game that explains this unexplained thing in Zelda, or it's going to be a backstory for this thing in Zelda. And that's just not how Nintendo do. They will make a game where they're like, oh, this is an interesting idea for gameplay, and we will make a game that uses that. And then they design the game, design challenges and dungeons and puzzles, and then they're like, we should put a story in here. And then they'll fill in the blanks. And usually it's not even, like, usually they'll make callbacks to previous games and things like that, but they will never, and I will stake if I'm ever proven wrong on this, I swear I will just rescind myself. I'll back away. I will never talk to Jesse again. No, I'm kidding on that part. I'll give up cheese, for God's sake. If Nintendo will
you already
not
gave
make
up everything
a game
else. Cheese is all you've got left.
Exactly. They will never make a Zelda game where they're like,
vegan,
let's make a backstory for this. They don't approach a game that way. They never will. Skyward Sword is kind of the exception, where they made a game with the backstory of the Master Sword. But I'm pretty sure that was, again, how the story after the fact, because the first thing they went into was, let's make a game where motion controls is the focus. So, anyways.
Yeah. All right.
So, do leaks better, people.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, guys? We're near the end of the podcast. So, any final thoughts on any of these fake games? So, based on all of these, let's do this really quick. Connor, starting with you, what is, out of all these fake Zelda games, what was the one that you liked the idea of the most? Ideal? I don't know which one to use there. I used to use ideal for both, but then someone, like, they kept correcting me, and I'm like, what does it matter? But yeah.
I think Shard Nightmare would be interesting, because I feel like with that game, that could probably go something like a sort of Twilight Princess vibe, or like a like Dark World Link, just trying to get through the world. Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool, or at least that kind of concept for it. But yeah, this really depends on how they would go with it, I guess.
All right, Daniel, which one did you like the idea of the most? Also, Connor, I want to say that I'm with you on this, graphic-wise, because I like the way it looked, resembling the Zelda Wii U tech demo, which I've always said that my perfect, like, if I could have anyone, like any third party, collaborate with Nintendo to make a Zelda game, it would be either, so it would be Square Enix, like 100%. But I don't know if I would want the Final Fantasy 15 team from Square Enix or the Tomb Raider team from Square Enix, which is Crystal Dynamics, I guess, but published by Square Enix. Because Tomb Raider has the super realistic art style, and then Final Fantasy has the super realistic anime style. And if you combined either of those with the team that made the Zelda Wii U tech demo to come up with something that I guess is like a super highly detailed anime art style, I would be really happy with that. Like how the Final Fantasy 15 Kingsglaive movie looks. That's my perfect style of a Zelda game. So like I would go with your pick, I guess, on that. But yeah, Daniel, which one did you like the best?
You know, all these leaks are kind of trash, but just because it's like I just, maybe it's my skepticism, but I find so much of them hard to believe. I really like the Twilight Princess 3D one just because the way it was like leaked out
most believable.
Was really, yeah, the most believable, crafty way.
They were reporting GameCube and Wii games to the 3DS at that time.
Yeah,
so that made sense.
And just putting it on like a Street Pass thing and then just letting other people notice it, like that's just, I love that. That's so sneaky, you know? So it's just, that one is like, I think the most creative. That's the way that they leaked it out. The most creative and probably the most believable. And that it was just like, oh, someone made a slip up and an accident. Like some Nintendo employee slipped up and this got leaked. But
yeah. All right. Hylian Luke. Every time I call you Luke, I feel like I'm calling you by the wrong name because I have Zelda Master Luke in my head. So like I kept on thinking I was mixing it up and calling you his name.
No, new Luke, who dis?
Yeah. Like we have old McIntyre, new McIntyre, and sexy McIntyre. So you can be new Luke. New Luke.
Okay. Well,
what's your shirt? Is that Smash Brothers or does it just say Smash?
No, it's My Hero Academia Smash.
You're one of those nerds.
Yeah, I like that show. But my favorite rumor would probably be the one that I talked about, Shard of Nightmare, just because it was the one that it was out of all those rumors, it was the only one I got super excited for because I thought it was completely legitimate.
Yeah. It's the one with the most, well, I guess not. I was gonna say it's the one with the most mystery to it, because we don't know what the made up story is. We're Twilight Princess, we already played. Fierce Deity Origin, we already know. The Valley of the Flood, we know what that's about. But then we have the two 3DS Zelda games that was just a screenshot. So technically we know more about this than we do the other game, because at least we knew how this one was meant to look. Where the 3DS games were just up in the air. But continue.
Yeah, and just the like all the screenshots and these leaked, I think, like a week or so before E3. So it was I remember it being super close to E3. So that's why I thought it was real, because leaks tend to happen right before E3 because people like to spoil stuff, especially Nintendo. So it's just seeing those off-screen phone screenshots. I thought they were completely real, but again, like they're not. So that's mine right there.
All right. Well, moving on to the last topic, and then since we've been going on for so long for the mailbag, we'll each just answer one question.
Hey everyone, it's me again, Elia Rose. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like, and comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the GameOverJesse channel, please consider purchasing a GameOverJesse t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/GameOverJesse, and much, much more.